Hey everyone, Rhyperion here. I just wanted to make a quick video. I've been searching online for just a lot of stuff on the Steam Deck, and I'm not really finding what I'm looking for when I'm looking to answer some of these questions, like, should I buy one of these things? Um, so I'll go over some of the things I like about it, some of the things that I dislike, some of the things that I think they're going to end up fixing. And then, give you my general recommendation. Spoiler, yes, this thing is absolutely amazing for what it does and for what it is. If you have the money, I would highly recommend getting it. Um, there's a couple software bugs and glitches that, I think they're going to end up working out. I really think this is just one patch away from just being an amazing gaming device. So I'll give you my objective opinions of what I like, what I dislike, and then we're going to go over some gameplay and kind of show you what this thing can do. Because again, that's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm not really seeing a lot of videos as to what this thing can do. So we'll get started. So a couple of things I like, some of the things I dislike. So we'll start with the dislike first because that's, I think, a little bit of a shorter list. So one of the things that really have been bothering me is the trigger buttons, your two main trigger buttons, your left and right triggers. On my unit, and I have been seeing a lot online, because of course I went immediately to the internet and to YouTube because I was getting ready to return it. The trigger buttons are actually sticking in, and what it is it looks like it's actually rubbing on the chassis of the case. So when you push the buttons in, you can actually literally see the case on the tops and sides bend out. Now, I don't know if it's a manufacturing process. I mean, I would have thought they would have done some R&D before they, slap this thing together. But it's happening. There's a lot of videos online of how the trigger buttons are sticking in and people are getting really frustrated. Um, I was getting ready to send mine back because mine started to do that after I had it for about a week. But I kind of just stuck through it. I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, look, worst case scenario, the case kind of flares out around the triggers. I can see the case pushing out when I push the triggers in. Worst case, what I'll do is I'll take a razor blade and I'll just shave that area, and just, open up the case a little bit just so they don't rub. It's an easy fix, I think. I didn't have to end up doing it because I think just from messing with it and playing with it and kind of pushing the buttons out by force a little bit to the sides, I've loosened mine up, and it seems to be, tolerable now. It seems to be working fine. So I can make a video showing that. It still kind of pushes them out a little bit. It's just not rubbing as bad. So I don't know if they had a coating on it before to kind of prevent it from happening, but maybe the coating wore off and that's when it started sticking for me. But it was really aggravating. I was very upset. So actual hardware wise, that was really the only thing that I didn't really like. I mean, the triggers feel good. The bumpers on the top feel good. The joysticks feel really good. They're nice and tight. They pop right back. They have a nice texture to them. One of the things, again, I dislike are the Steam button um, and the options button over here. Um, they're just too flush. When I'm sitting in bed, when I'm playing and the lights aren't on and I try to find it, I always end up messing with the bumper, I mean, with the track pads here, trying to find these buttons. I push these down a couple times because they just, it doesn't feel different. It almost feels like it's flush with the case. A couple earlier videos were showing how they were just kind of mashy. They didn't have a nice textile, click to them. Mine, the unit I have, actually does click down. They are good buttons. They're just flush, and there's no texture to them, nothing that differentiates them from, the trackpad, and they're just so close. Again, you end up fumbling trying to find them. So that's one thing I hope to see them change on future units, making little raised, you know, buttons or just something, little rivets on it to where, you can feel where these buttons are. Something pretty minor. I mean, it's more of a just cosmetic. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys like that. It's just something I don't like. All the rest of the buttons, the D-pad feels great. Select, start feel great. If you guys don't call them that, I'm just, a Nintendo guy. So Back in the day, select start, even on the Xbox buttons, I still refer to them as that. The ABXY. Now I have noticed also on my A and B on here do seem to be a little bit looser. The X and Y are good feeling buttons. The A and B just kind of, they have like a rattle to them. They're not as tight. And maybe I'll record some audio and show you that. Actually, I might be able to just bring the microphone close so you can kind of hear what that sounds like. But it's just very, it shouldn't sound like that. So this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can hear that with the noise gate, but they rattle. They don't feel premium. It doesn't feel tight. And again, it could be the manufacturing process. I know they're trying to get these things out, but hopefully in the future, I have heard them changing some of the units. I do have the 512 with the 4 times NVMe, the faster hard drive, so I was happy that I did receive that one. Other than that, I mean, it's an amazing machine. I mean, I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky. I think I have 100 and something hours in No Man's Sky that I've played on this thing. I've tried a bunch of different games. I stream Destiny on it from my gaming computer. My gaming computer is wired. Max settings, set to beautiful. Remote play, it does stream perfectly on the Steam Deck. So another game I'll show you gameplay on that one. BioShock plays really well. Left 4 Dead. I played some of the Wolfenstein games on there, Skyrim, and whatever I throw at it, it seems to handle it. I don't really have the annoying fan whine that whining that other people were speaking of. So I can't attest to that. I don't know if I have a later production model, but they've just done a really good job with this thing, with the hardware, with the software. There are a lot of bugs, and I think they're still working those out. I mean, I've had this thing for about a month now, and they've gone through almost 5 updates. Software, like main software updates to the device. And every single time they do that, it improves it. And as long as Valve sticks to that and keeps those software updates coming and they stand behind this product, again, I think this thing is just one patch away from just being absolutely amazing. I've noticed some bugs when it comes to the controller. A couple times when I was trying to remote play Destiny, it wouldn't recognize the Steam Deck controller. Some of the controller profiles on there are just either just too responsive or not responsive enough. Some of them have great blends. Some of them, the D-pad will only work and the joysticks will not. So, playing games like Chrono Trigger on the Steam Deck, the joysticks work perfectly. If you pair an Xbox controller to it, the joysticks will not work and you have to use the D-pad. So it's just really weird things like that. And then when you go into the settings of the controller, everything is set up correctly. It should be working. It works on other games, but just some games it doesn't. So it's just little things like that, and where it's software. And I will tell you, I turn this thing on once a day, and almost every single day that I do turn it on, there's little game patches and little game updates and Proton updates that they're constantly pushing through. So it seems like as they're finding these little issues, they're tweaking them to where, they're going to make it work better. And again, if they keep that up and stand behind this product, you're going to have a wonderful experience. So other than that, I have seen some pictures of the 512s delaminating on the screen. Thank God I haven't had that problem yet. Speakers are absolutely amazing. Great, great speakers. I mean, I don't ever turn it all the way up. It's very loud. Memory wise, I mean, I have the 512. I also have a 256 memory card that I stuck in mine just to load a bunch of games onto it. It does seem the games download and install slowly. Definitely not at full speed. It seems like it downloads a chunk and then it writes it. It downloads a chunk and then it writes it. For having the faster NVMe, I was a little disappointed in the download speed of the games. It's definitely nowhere near what I get on my gaming computer. I do have terabyte internet, so the thing should install and download in seconds, and definitely it installs slower on the Steam Deck. Updates that they have been pushing have been around 100 megabytes per game. So when they're tweaking them, it seems like it is just little patches to get the games working a little bit better. So again, I really can't complain too much about that because they are doing the software update. So I can live with some of the stuff as long as they continue to back up the software. So, the UI, again, I think they could work on the UI a little bit. It seems to flow, I guess, things are where they're supposed to be. Settings, for example, right now, I will post what I'm showing you this, or how I'm able to show you this. I'm actually using an Anker USB-C hub that can actually output 4K 60. Right now, it's only outputting 1080p, so of course you guys can view this nicely on YouTube. But the Anker USB-C that I use for my computer, or the hub that I use for my computer, plugs right into the Steam Deck, works perfectly, outputs through HDMI at 60 FPS. So again, it just works. And I love that. I don't have to mess with it. Things I don't like, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I would like to see a little bit more options on the display because it doesn't tell me what I'm outputting at. I actually have to go into the monitor settings or the TV settings to see what I'm outputting. I can't set it at 1080. When I'm in a games like Destiny, I can change the resolution. No Man's Sky, I can go in the game and change the resolution to the 720 at 800 for the screen of the Steam Deck. But other than that, I don't have the option of just kind of setting the output when I am outputting through HDMI. So that would, be one of those things I'd like to see. I mean, even when you go into the advanced views, you don't have those options. So that's just one little thing. Audio, I mean, the menu is very basic. Just so you can see, I do use an Apple wireless keyboard with it. There are some games where you have to do that. And then, of course, the Xbox Elite 2 controller. The controller settings, like I said, it does allow you to set individual settings for controllers when you go in. It's not going to let me do it because I'm not in the game. I guess it's just going to show you the connected controller. It's not going to let me really change anything. Keyboard, again, it's your basic screen keyboard. Oh, and that's another thing. So in some games, it'll tell you it's verified or it works, playable. A game like Chrono Trigger, you can't. There's no pop-up keyboard for the screen, so you got to actually use your keyboard because it's more meant to be played on a computer, of course. You can actually do an on-screen keyboard and actually bring up your on-screen keyboard like I just showed you just here. But it actually somewhat works, but doesn't allow you to hit enter. So you can't even move past the, naming your character because the on-screen keyboard doesn't work with the game that you're playing. It will allow you to enter the characters in, but you can't hit enter. So you have to use an external keyboard just to be able to hit enter to go back and use the controller. It's just little stupid things like that I'm sure they're working on. And again, there's videos online of how the controllers aren't working or how you have to use a keyboard. The keyboard doesn't work. And I think I saw a video on Chrono Trigger to where they were trying to do the character entry and name the character, and they couldn't get past that. And they had to close it back out, open the game again, and just skip that whole and use the default name. But I don't like to use the default name. I want to name my characters. I want to be able to have those options. That's just quality of life stuff for me. So just stupid things like that I'll highlight and kind of show you guys workarounds that I found, because I'll sit there and mess with it for about an hour until I figure it out, just because it bothers the hell out of me. But other than that, it works very, very well. I don't have a loud hiss with the motor, and I have really good hearing, so I do hear that fan whine. I can actually hear the fan from my computer but I don't hear anything coming right now from the Steam Deck. And if you look, it's only running at 1896 RPMs, and you can see how it tweaks up. It'll go up to the 5,000, 6,000 when you're playing a game, and still it's barely audible. So it's not going to bother your significant other. I mean, like I said, I've played hundreds of hours of No Man's Sky on this thing, sitting in bed. 120 hours of my life playing this game. And I mean, it plays very, very well. And I'll show you the settings and the resolution that I've been using in these future videos. And, if you guys like this, I haven't put out any videos in a while, but I was sick of looking for Steam Deck stuff. It's new, and I think people are interested in what it can do and what people actually think of it. So if you guys like this video, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get my channel going and actually trying to be able to name it and customize it, and I can't do that without the subscribers, without you guys. So again, if you like what you see here, I will put out future videos. Just let me know and put in the comments things that you're curious about. Will it play this? Will it play that? I do have a quite extensive Steam library, so chances are I do have the game that you're wanting to see if this thing will play, and I will show you gameplay of how it plays so you can kind of have an informed decision before you buy it. So if you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you disliked it, keep that to yourself. If you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you guys in future videos. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful night.